Well, hello everybody. I want to talk to you today about contesting. I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks to make you a better contester. First thing you're going to want to do when contesting is go ahead and grab your brand new 2015 calendar and schedule all the contests that you would be interested in participating in. This is going to also help you increase your commitment to participate in the contest, and it's going to assure that you don't forget entering your favorite contest, and also lets you know ahead of time that you need to prepare for this contest, and it also lets your family know not to schedule any events during those contests. Next thing you're going to want to do is determine the reason you're in that contest. Each contest may be different. Maybe you want to win the world, the USA, or your division in that particular contest. And another one you're just hoping to beat last year's score, or maybe you want to learn propagation on a new band or get better operating skills on a new mode. But that will help you determine your goal. And this leads us to our next tip, and that is creating goals. Goals are a really good idea. It's going to help you get through those rough patches, like when you have nearby QRM, or you keep getting run off the frequency, or maybe it's 3 in the morning and you're really tired. The goals are going to help keep your butt in the chair. I like to set multiple goals. I set a total QSO goal, a multiplier goal, and I like to have QSO goals for each hour based on last year. Next thing you're going to want to do is come up with a contesting plan. You're going to want to plan your on and off times. A lot of contests actually require that you take so many hours of off time. You want to try and schedule your band changes and plan for those propagation openings. You may get busy working Europe and forget that there's an opening at this time to Asia. And then last of all, make sure you're ready to change or adjust your plan as conditions obviously may change. Now this next one is an important step, and that's testing all your equipment. Make sure you test your radios, your rotors, and your antennas. Check the SWR on every band with every antenna that you're going to be using. Make sure your voice keyer is working and you have it all ready to go. Check your macros. Make sure you have the correct messages in there and not last contest's messages. And also check your sound card levels if you're going to be doing RIDI. And you want to make sure your computer is syncing with your radio and your rotors. All right, you're going to want to make sure you do this at least a couple days in advance, and that's make sure your logging software has the latest version, so make sure that's all updated. You're also going to want to update your Super Check partial file. Now that's a real handy pop-up window in most contesting software. It gives you call signs. It has active call signs from people who have participated in this contest before. And so say you only get part of the call, it's going to help you fill in those blanks. And make sure that your contesting software finds this latest version or is pointing to this correct latest version that you are uploading. Also, make sure your computer has the correct time. If you want to sync it to the exact time, which is the Whiskey Whiskey Victor site in Colorado, you can do that right off your radio. For those of you who missed it on our Field Day episode last summer, there's actually a clock on your radio. If you go to 10 megahertz exactly, you don't even need a 30-meter antenna to bring it in. It's going to give you the exact time right there on your radio, so you can make sure your computer is synced with the correct time. Next, you're going to want to make sure you read the contest rules for that contest. Many people don't do this, and many a seasoned contester have gotten burned by not reading the rules. You may also find that there's a new category that they added that fits your goals perfectly. Next is station ergonomics, and this is probably one of the biggest keys to being a successful contester and keeping your butt in the chair like we always talk about, and that is to make sure you have a comfortable chair. Try and keep all outside noise to a minimum because that will wear you out, having background noise. Wear comfortable clothing and, if possible, compression socks, which you can get at any local drugstore. Make sure everything you use is within arm's reach. And very important that you take breaks every 3 to 4 hours. A lot of us are aging in this hobby, and it's extremely important to take a break, get up, walk around, even if it's just for a minute or two, to help avoid deep vein thrombosis. I've heard stories of 25-year-olds getting strokes from sitting and playing Xbox too long, and most of us are not 25 anymore. Make sure your radio and computer screen is easy to see and is glare-free. Now, as with everything in life, the only way to get better at something is to practice, practice, practice. Now, if you have a contest coming up where you're going for the win, you're going to want to practice on a smaller contest beforehand. This is going to help you test the ergonomics of your station. It's going to get your CW skills up to speed, and it's going to test your propagation plans, and last, give your equipment a real-time workout. And here's some more contesting tips to make note of. You're going to want to try and be as accurate as possible because a lot of contests will penalize you for any errors in your log. Always have a gray line map that's visible so you can notice any openings to other parts of the world. And always a good idea to join a contesting club. They're a great resource of information and a really good motivator. And if you are going to be using a water bottle, make sure it's one with a lid to keep your equipment safe. Have some cough drops handy nearby in case you need those. And always try and get a nap or a good night's sleep the night before any major contest. And now once your contest is over, make sure you review your log and then send it in. Try and send it in as soon as possible. A lot of contests now require that you send them in within 5 days. Nothing worse than accidentally forgetting to send in your log after all that hard work you put in. So good idea to get them in as quickly as possible. And then upload your log to LOTW. Now that you've all seen my LOTW series, hopefully you're all on LOTW. And once you do that, you're going to want to do a post-contest review. How well did you stick to your operating plan? Did you reach your goals? What could you have done better next year? It's best to do that right away while it's fresh in your head. You're also going to be getting a report eventually once they've reviewed your logs, and it's going to include any UBNs. Now, UBNs are your uniques, your busted calls, and your not in the logs. Now what I'm going to do is look at those busted calls or the not in the logs, and I'm going to see when I made those QSOs. And maybe next year, that's when I'm going to take my break or my rest because I'm most inaccurate at that time of night. Now, if you follow a lot of these rules, hopefully your contesting will get better and better with each contest. And eventually, your wall could look like this.